So, we're just going to do a quick review to go through the new cards. Hello, the Tinto. So basically, if you aren't familiar with what's happening, they're releasing 28, I believe, new cards into the arena that will be here for 3 weeks. It's like a time traveler event or something like that. So we'll go through them. I will just give it a rating from 1 to 10, and then we'll go from there. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, because I'm bad at telling which cards are from which, classes or whatever, is this a neutral card? That's my first question before we get going. Are there any, is this a neutral card or is it a mage card to start? It's neutral? So how many neutrals are there? And then there's two for each class, is that right? Okay. Yeah, I think it's neutral because it's got the gray background. I know they're colored, but I forget which ones are which. Okay, so Temporal Anomaly. 2 mana 2/2. When you draw this, add a random spell to your hand from your class. So if you think about this card compared to the 2/1 Elemental and Mage, right? That card's already quite good. Like, it's highly bucketed. Here, you don't even have to play it and have it die to get the spell. Obviously, certain classes are going to have better spells than others, so this is a card where, like in Mage, it's going to be insane. But maybe in Warrior, it wouldn't be all that good. But overall, it's really strong. Spells tend to be probably on average stronger than minions. So I would say that this card is probably a 8.5. 8.5, right? Boom. 8.5. You can't have this in your starting hand. It's still really good, though. Because if you get unlucky and it's in your starting hand, are you sure it doesn't work? Anyways, I'm going to stick with 8.5. Let's move on. I'm pretty sure it still works. No. Anyway, okay. Moving on. 8.5. Blessing of Aeon. So this is a 1 mana paladin spell. Give a minion at the end of your turn, gain +1/1. At the end of your turn, gain +1/1. So that means that you'll gain +1 every turn, right? So 1/1, 1/1 over and over and over again. But you can't use it. So this feels like one of the weaker cards. Like, it's still good, but because you can't use it to trade on that turn, it seems a little bit weird. So I'm going to say this one is like a 7.5. Still has the ability to snowball, but because you can't make the trades immediately, I'm going to say it's not quite as strong. 7.5. Okay. Why is my scrolling thing not as... Here, let's do it this way. There we go. Master of Realities. After you summon a... So this is a Shaman card. After you summon a minion, transform it into a random minion that costs 2 more. After you summon. So you're paying 1 mana for the effect. Costs 2 more. That's pretty crazy. Because yeah, that's pretty crazy. Because a Boulderfist Ogre is like solid stats, right? 6 mana, 6/7. Only paying 1 attack for this effect. Yeah, this is pretty bonkers. I'm gonna say this is a 9. Yeah, it works with totems because it's summon, right? It might be higher. I'm gonna go with 9.3. Can't be 9.5. Come on, don't be ridiculous. And so it is true that these ratings are going to be on the high side because the card power level is really strong, right? Most of these cards are just kind of bonkers. So I'm just doing it based on all of Hearthstone, 1 to 10, with an average card being, let's say, a 3 mana 3/3. So yeah, most of them are going to be pretty high. Wait, this is kind of a bad. There you go. Flash forward. Flash forward. Each player gains 2 mana crystals and draws 2 cards. Gains 2 mana crystals and draws 2 cards. So I'm assuming this is empty crystals, right? So you play this, you ramp your opponent. So this doesn't seem very good. Yeah, this card could really be bad. It's not empty. Okay, so you get to use the mana first then. So you're paying 1 mana to draw 2, but you ramp them. It's still bad though. It's still not good. I would say, if you have UI or something, then it could be different. But I would say this is a 3.5. Okay. This card is so troll. Murazond, again, I don't really know how you pronounce that, but it's like a mini Nas. It's a 7 mana 6/6 dragon. The battle cry, from now on, your turns are 15 seconds and you draw 2 extra cards. So the way I'm reading this is it's only your turns. So it's not your opponent. It's not like Nas where it affects both. But if you can play fast and, if you're focused, you can do most turns in 15 seconds to get 2 cards. So you are paying a little bit for it. Like it's a 6 mana or 7 mana 6/6. But I still think it's pretty good, because if you don't kill it, then getting 2 cards is pretty nuts. So I think as far as meme cards go, it's actually pretty strong. I'm gonna say it's a wait, it's a battle cry? It lasts. Are you really? From forever? What? That's kind of stupid. Oh God. I guess you have to think a little bit about fatigue, because you draw 3 cards, right? Because 3 cards a turn is a lot, and you can't fatigue doing that. Yeah, it's not actually. It would be better if you could. It would be better if it was a temporary effect, I think. But it depends on the deck. I would say it still could do something. I'm gonna go with like a 6. Because a lot of the time you're gonna lose with that effect, but it should be fun or different. Possibility Seeker. So this is a neutral then again, right? Looks like a neutral. Battle Cry. Shuffle your hand into your deck. Draw that many cards. So it's a Yeti stat line. And as a result, so pretty good stats. If you have a bad hand, I think on average this card is better than a Yeti. Because if you have a bad hand, it gives you a chance to fix it. And you don't have to play it, right? And the thing is, by turn 4, like, you mulligan early to get, let's say you turn 2, turn 3, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, something like that. You're oftentimes not planning that far ahead after turn 4. So it could be a little awkward sometimes if you do have a good hand, but I think this card is quite good. A 4 mana 5/5 is already pretty strong. I'm going to say this card is a 8. Okay. Harbinger of Catastrophe. At the start of your turn, summon the highest cost minions from each player's deck. This is such a meme. So you aren't even paying a penalty for the effect, but the effect happens to both players. So the start of your turn. So you play it, and then the next turn you have the effect. The highest cost minion. The problem is, like, people are going to draft some big boys. So Like, is your big boy going to be better than their big boy? It can really punish like an aggro deck, because if they pull a 5-drop or 6-drop, and then, you know, you're pulling a Sleepy Dragon or something, then it's, you know, it can be pretty good. But it's hard to evaluate this card because it's just so ridiculous. I'm gonna say start of your turn. So we'll have Summoning Sickness, and so you don't get to attack with it. I think this is kind of sketch. I think I'm going to give this, because it's a 6 mana 6/7, I'm not going to say it's bad, but I'm going to say this is like an average card, like a 5. Because you could draft around it in some ways. Maybe. Go with a 5. Okay. Reminisce. Whoops, that doesn't look like it lines up well. Add 2 random cards your opponent played this game to your hand. So it's basically a 2 mana draw 2. Maybe it's slightly worse. Well, okay. You could say it's slightly worse or slightly better depending on how you look at it. Because if you're playing it like the mid game, it's probably cheaper cards. Because you play it on turn 5, you know, you're not going to be getting an 8-drop, but you get a Stonehill or something like that. 2 mana draw, but you know, also they pick the cards, so you know, they're probably not terrible cards if they've drafted them. So I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna say this card is an 8. You also will kind of know what what is, you know, what you're likely to get. So you can use it to look for outs. Man, this is gonna be such a clown fiesta. Whoops. Infinite Wolf. So this is a hunter card, a 4 mana 5/5. Rush. After this attack, shuffle it into your deck and give future Infinite Wolves +2/2. So you're likely going to get a kill on something with this. But what you have to remember about this card is it doesn't stay around. So even if you use it to kill like a 4/4, as soon as you attack with it, it goes back into your deck. So you're not going to get ahead on the board by playing it. And how likely are you going to draw them again? So, like, the card on the surface seems, oh my god, this is insane. But I actually don't think this card is going to be as crazy as people think. But it's still a good card. It's not a 4 mana 5/5 rush with upside, because it goes into your deck. After this attacks, shuffle it into your deck. So you, like, ideally you'd use this card to like kill a 6/5, right? But which isn't bad. It's still, you know, I think it's a good card, but I would say it's like a 7. Because you aren't that likely to even draw another one, right? It's not like, and Dire Frenzy isn't a good card, and that card you get what, 3 copies into your deck, so you're much more likely to draw it. All right. Timeline Witness. So this appears to be a neutral if my investigative abilities are on. Instead of drawing your normal card each turn, discover a card from your deck. So a 3 mana 2/4 isn't great, but discover is really powerful. And sometimes, you know, playing a 2/4 on 3 is okay. So being able to pick something from your deck, it's going to be scary. And if you're able to get this behind a taunt and be able to pull answers each turn, it's really, really scary. So I'm gonna say this card is a 9. I think it will be really good. If the stats if it was a 3/4, it'd be like a 10. But yeah. Okay. Thief of Futures. So rogue card, right? I believe this is a rogue card. Looks roguey to me. Thief, you know. Battlecry. So it's a 4 mana 4/3. Battlecry, add a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck to your hand. So a 4 mana 4/3, draw 1. And then you also know a card in your opponent's hand. And they'll know a card in your deck. But the stats are really good on this. If you compare it to like Gnomish Inventor, where it's a 4 mana 2/4, a 4/3 is much more relevant. So this card is really good. It does get a little weird because they'll also, you know, since they know what you have. But if it's just a minion, it's like doesn't really matter that much. So I would say this is like, let's go with like an 8.5. Okay. Wild Lens Adventurer. A 5 mana 5/5. Looks neutral. Neutral, yeah, okay. Battle Cry, add a random card from the Hall of Fame to your hand. This is so troll. So our cards... Wait, from the Hall of Fame. Is Hall of Fame just everything that's not standard? Or is that the cards that they put into the Hall of Fame, like Power Overwhelming and like Sylvanas and... Well, what defines Hall of Fame? Okay, so it's those classic cards that got booted. Oh god. Oh no. I don't keep up on that stuff. The Hall of Fame things. So most of those are really good cards. And it's a good stats. This card's really broken. Because you're not even paying a penalty to get the card. How is this okay? I mean, it's a event, so it's not okay. But, yeah. I hate to do this, but I'm going to make this a 9.5. It's slightly better than my 9.4. That's crazy. Yeah, they aren't all good, sure. But it's still a 5/5. So even if you hit a bad one, it's still great. Because you're playing a 5/5 and getting something that you can use. I'm saying it's really, really good. And even if you sometimes will hit crap, it's not that bad. You don't have to play it, and you're still playing a 5/5. I think this card's really insane. Okay. The heck? Hold on. Whoa, my computer just like... Whoa, come on, bro. All right, we're back. That was weird. Okay. Deja Vu. 1 mana. So what is this? What class is this, chat? Discover a copy of a spell you played this game. Is this a neutral? What class is this? I can't tell based on this. It's rogue? Okay. Discover a copy of a spell you played this game for 1 mana. Assuming you're drafting good cards, it should be pretty nuts. Right? Find a backstab, find an eviscerate. Things like that. Yeah. It's got to be good, and it's also a combo activator. It's weird if it's a first spell that you play, but you know, obviously you wouldn't. You wouldn't play it in that case. Yeah, the cheap shot. There's a lot of things. Hallucinate. Yeah, the card's good. I wouldn't say it's as strong as some of the other cards, but it's still quite good. I would say it's like... I'm going to go with an 8. Okay. And we can talk about it after. Like after we do the next draft, we can talk about the cards a little bit more. What you guys think I got wrong or right or whatever. All right, let me get a little bit of water. Rift Warden. Rift Warden. 7 mana 5/5. This is a Warlock card. Battle Cry, discard a random minion, Death Rattle, summon it. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think this is one of the weaker cards. It's not terrible though, because you still have the ability to high roll with it. All right? Like I don't think it's terrible. Because unlike the Cruel Dynamancer, where you could discard something like a spell and then doesn't do anything, here you will get the minion, right? So it's not that bad. I don't think it's strong. It's pretty understated, but I would say this card is like a 6. Okay. If your rating is a 7 mana 5/5, you're doing it wrong. Because it does have, like, sure, it can get silenced and then you're really sad, but oftentimes it will pull something. So, All right. Consider the past. This looks like a mage card, right? Blue is mage, I think. This looks like mage. Add 3 random spells from the past to your hand. Okay, so from the past, that means wild. Is that correct? It's not only mage spells. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, it's not a Kabbalah's Tome because you can pull other class cards. So it's, and on average, mage spells are better than others, but what a shit show. It's still going to be pretty much an auto pick in Arena because spells are strong and 4 mana for 3 spells is pretty good. So I would say it's still, you have to take 4 mana to do nothing, at least on that turn. But it's good. I'm gonna say this one is an 8. But sometimes it'll wreck you and you'll feel really bad. Sometimes it kind of Bronze Broodmother. When you 5 mana 5/5 dragon. Lots of dragons if you guys haven't noticed. When you draw this, summon a 1/1 wee whelp. So you just get a 1/1. It tells your opponent that you drew it. So that is something, not that really matters all that much, but you know, a free 1/1, then you get hit by MCT. But a free 1/1's good. And it also activates other dragon synergy. So yeah. I think it's a good card. How good though? Because if you draw it later on, it's not that good. It's like, wow, you got a 1/1. It's a 5 mana 5/5. It seems okay. I'm going to go with a 7. The dragon tag, you know, probably good, but you can't get hit by Dragon Slayer, so. Whoops. Cavern Dreamer. Also mage card, I think. I'm getting better at this. At the end of your turn, add a random spell that costs... So it's a 2 mana 1/3. At the end of your turn, add a random spell that costs 2 or less to your hand. So you play this and you're guaranteed to get at least 1 cheap spell. Random spell, though, from anywhere. Oh, man. How are you going to play around anything in this event? You're not, I guess. Like, what 2 or less spell can my opponent have? I don't know. It's a shit ton. It is a 1/3 on the turn you play it, but it gives you a card. So it's quite strong. And again, a lot of these cards, if they stick, it's going to be gross. It's going to be pretty dumb. I'm going to say it's like a 9. Okay. Chromie. 4 mana 4/4. Battlecry. Shuffle 4 historical epochs into your deck. Did I pronounce epoch? Epoch? Into your deck. I actually don't have all of the different effects here. Does anyone have a link to those? Somewhere? Oops. Does anyone have a link to those? Okay, so I don't have this on screen, but there are 4 options. So one is opening the Dark Portal. They all cost 4 mana. Add 2 random legendary minions to your hand. Draw a card. Cast this when drawn. Add 2 random legendary minions to your hand. Draw a card. Cast this when drawn. What? Okay. Battle for Mount Hyjal. Give your minions +2/2. Draw a card. Cast this when drawn. Escape from Durnhold. Add 2 random spells to your hand. Okay, so all of them have that same effect. Draw a card. Cast this when drawn. So basically, you can get the card back, and then it will just get played again, right? Add 2 random spells to your hand, and then the final one, Culling of Stratholme. Deal 2 damage to all enemies. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Huh. It's pretty good. It's really good, right? Because those, even just playing it the first time, all of them are pretty good in different situations. So, yeah. I think it's probably like a 9.3. It's not quite 9.4. Come on, don't be ridiculous. Nothing's that good. But very good. Okay. Stasis Dragon. 6 mana, 10/10, starts dormant. This awakens with Rush after 2 turns. So this is the card when I was looking at this one. I was like, how bad is it to do nothing on turn 6? Yeah, it's dormant like darkness, so you can't do anything. You can't do anything about it. It's just chilling there. So I don't think you can be hit by Deadly Shot or anything. So you pass your turn 6, but then you get a charging 10/10 on turn 8, let's say. This is an interesting card to think about. Because you can get a pretty bad... Like, your opponent gets to plan for it, right? Because you're able to... Yeah, it's going to be bad for Evolve. Like, you know, if they can play little taunts or something and push face damage, they could really punish you for passing turn 6. But if you're in a long game and you play this and you're... Yeah, it's not as powerful as some of those cards, but I think it's probably still above average. So I would say it's like... I'm thinking like a 6.5. But yeah, this is one I'm gonna have to play with it to know. I'm not sure what to think about this card yet. Okay. Fate Cleaver. This is a 4 mana 4/2 weapon. After this kills, is this a warrior card? I think, right? Looks warrior to me. Is this warrior, chat? Yeah? Okay. All right. After this kills a minion, destroy all copies of it wherever they are. So I think probably 90% of the time when you play it, the destroy all copies won't really matter. The times where it will matter are the echo cards, I guess. Right? So if you play like Phantom Militia and you play it 3 times and this kills one of them, then all 3 of them will die. So there are some times where it matters. Yeah, Oregon's Plague, sure, yeah, and tokens, but most of the time, it's still good though, because 4 mana for a 4/2 weapon, like with True Silver, it's not so much about the healing; it's about just that 4 damage for 4 mana is good to use it twice. If it's in your hand, yeah, anything that it would kill anything copy anywhere, which would make it a little bit weird. All right. So if it's in your deck, it would kill your copies of Serenite in your hand. But it's still really good. I think the text probably makes it better than just a 4/2 in most cases. So I'm gonna say this is a 8.5. I think it's gonna be really strong. Okay. Because Warriors don't really have something like that on 4 right now. Like it's yeah. Rip Despite. Ripple in Time, Priest, I think. Discover a minion. If you play it this turn, it has Echo. Oh, boy. So the ideal way to play this card is to wait until you have a bunch of mana. And then it's a ton of value. It's going to be a fun one to lose to. And 1 mana for Discover is, pretty standard, and there's this extra upside. So it's definitely better than... You can't look for spells, but I'd still say it's definitely better than Hallucination. But there's a lot of minions. Yeah. It's interesting card. I'm thinking it's like an 8. This card's bad? I don't think so. I think it's going to be good. I think like 90% of these cards are going to be good. Because it can be, like, the way you can think about this card is you can either use it for, oh shit, I need something to play on this turn on curve, right? Like, it's turn turn 5 and you have nothing to do. Like, give me a 4-drop. Just play it, you know. Or if you're in the late game, you're like, shit, I need a bunch of value. Let me get multiple things to play. So I think it's really good. Okay. All right. Draconid Herald. A 6-mana 5/6. Okay, so Pit Fighter, pay 1 mana, Battlecry, discover a minion, give it +3/3, then put it on the top of your deck. Oh, God. So you're paying 1 mana for your next draw to be overstated by... And you get to pick what it is. Oh, God, that's going to be stupid. And the stats, like, playing a 5/6 on turn 6 isn't that bad anyways. Oh, no. That's really strong. These effects where you discover it, or, like, you get to pick what the... like where it comes from the top of your deck, that's really insane. So I'm going to give this, like, a... I'm going to give this a 9.4. Infinite Murloc. So this is a card that people were talking about. I don't remember looking at it, to be fair. Battlecry. Shuffle an so it's a 1-mana 1/1 neutral card. Yeah. Battlecry. Shuffle an Infinite Murloc into your deck. Your future Infinite Murlocs get +1/1. This card's not good. This is one of the cards that's actually bad. Because... the problem with it is you don't want to be top decking a 2/2. And by the time you draw like another one, it's a 3/3, it's just not that good. Like, yeah, it's 1 mana, but this card sucks. Unless you have, like, you know, you're a shaman and you have like the card that draws Murlocs or something like that. But yeah, this is not a good card. This card is really bad. Yeah, it could be a combo card, but I'm gonna say it's a 3. It's low down there. Stasis Elemental, 4-mana 3/5 shaman card. Battlecry, freeze a minion until this leaves the battlefield. That's really annoying. Why, dude? So until you kill this, you can't use your minion. So its stats aren't great, but the stats are fine. It's a 4-mana 3/5, and then until they kill it, their minion's frozen forever. Oh boy, yeah, it's really good. It will get cleared in 2 seconds, maybe, but what if it's not? It's Moat Lurker? No, because Moat Lurker is a 6-mana 3/3. They're different. They're different. I mean, Moat Lurker destroys it, but yeah, I think it's quite strong, because even if you just have to play it as a freeze for 1 turn, that's still good. It's not as powerful as some of the cards, but I think it's like I would say it's like a 7.5. Maybe it's an 8. How good is this card? I think it's an 8. Change my mind. I think it's really good. Because what happens when you're rating these cards is you look at them and how insane some of them are, and then you can kind of lose sight of the fact that this card is going to be up against, you know, a Tolvir or something maybe. I don't know how they're going to bucket these, but yeah. And then you're like, wait, this card's insane. Okay. Chrono Shot. Hunter card. Return an enemy minion to your opponent's hand. It costs 2 more. So, it's Freezing Trap, except you get a pick, but you pay 1 more mana for it. So, Sap is 2 mana, but it doesn't cost 2 more. So, this is really good. It's probably... I would say it's slightly better than Sap. I mean, so for example, if your opponent plays a 9-drop, like, they can never play it again, right? Like, it's just like, boop, rip in pieces. That Sleepy Dragon's never getting played again. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this is going to be pretty nasty. Or, you just use it to get lethal on that turn. So, oh, man. I'm going to say it's at least a 9. We'll say 9. It might even be, like, closer to 10, but we'll go with 9. Pretty crazy. Timeway Wanderer. Neutral, 5 mana, 6/3. Every time I see 5 mana, 6/3, I think of Ethereal Conjurer. God, that card. Battlecry. Discover a spell, reduce its cost by 5, then put it on the top of your deck. Discover a spell, reduce its cost by 5, then put it on the top of your deck. So it's definitely a card that it will depend on what you're playing, right? Like with Mage, it could be pretty insane. You do have to wait a turn for it unless you can like do this and then combo a card draw with it. But the thing is, what I remember from Ethereal Conjurer is the fact that it's a 6 attack is still relevant on turn 5. So it seems like it's going to be very good. The only downside is you in most cases you have to wait a turn to do it, right? Like the thing about Conjure is sometimes you could just look for something like a Frostbolt to save you on that turn. But if you're playing Mage, you look for a Flame Strike or Meteor or whatever. It's definitely a good card. I'm gonna say it's like an 8.5. All right. Okay. Two more cards. Grasp the Future. Warlock? Yeah. I think this is Warlock. Grasp the Future. 4 mana. Draw 2 cards. They cost 2 less. Draw 2 cards. So 4 mana, draw 2. Isn't that bad. It's not great. And you get a reduction. So I would say on average, this is better than Arcane Intellect. Right? And Arcane Intellect's a good card. But it's in Warlock. So it's like, how valuable is draw in Warlock? I feel like if it's in a different class, it would be really good. But in Warlock, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If you get an Echo card, but it only costs less for the first copy. Although if you do get, like a Volcanosaur, you can drop it on turn 5. Yeah, it's interesting card. I think it's still good, but I'm going to say like a... Because you still have to pay 4 mana, and you don't want to spend your turn 4 doing that. But I'm going to say it's like a 7. That might be a little bit low. It's between like a 7 and 7.5. Wait, why can't I can't scroll all the way down because my window capture. Hold on. How can I do this? Hold on. I can do it again. Hold on, I got this. Don't worry, we'll get there. PogChamp! Okay, all right, the last card. Time-Bound Giant. 15 mana. Costs 1 less for each card you've drawn. So at what point is this going to be really good? You obviously can't play it for a while, but I don't know. It seems like it's still good because if you draw it late, it could be like a 0 mana 8/8, right? In the worst case, it's an 8 mana 8/8. Okay. Doesn't work with the Discover. Yeah. If you're doing that over and over, but that's a very niche reaction or niche situation. Niche situation. I'm gonna say it's good, but not quite on the level of some of the other cards. So I'm going to say Let's say 7.5. But I don't know. I really don't know. No, it's still good if you top deck it because it counts for drawn early. You don't have to like have it in your hand. Right? That's the way I'm reading it. It counts for every card that you've drawn in the game, regardless of where it is in your deck. So, yeah. So I say 7 or 7.5. We'll change it to 7.5. Sure. All right, that's it. That's it, everybody. What do we think? Any ones that you guys think I got really wrong? That's really good or really bad or whatever? What I can say is, yeah, so Dragon Slayer, like how many dragons were there? Dragon Slayer is obviously going to be an auto pick in this event because there's a lot of dragons. Dragons are everywhere. Dragons! Look at how many of those cards have the dragon tag. The warrior one rated too high? Which one? The weapon or, whoops. The weapon or the minion? This thing? This thing seems insane. Chrono Shot is a clear 10. Yeah, it might be a little bit higher. What did I say, a 9? Yeah. It might be a little bit higher, but I'm sticking with my 9. This one's, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be good, though. Okay, well, it's going to be something, chat. It's going to be something, let me tell you. How do you play around this stuff? Ugh.